What if I told you history's biggest secrets were hidden while the world believed a completely different story? Official records told one version, newspapers repeated it, but behind closed doors, key information was delayed, altered, or erased. What was hidden? And why did no one know the full truth? Chapter 1. The story we were told. History is often presented as neat and simple. Dates, leaders, victories, and losses are arranged in order. Everything seems clear and understandable. But what the world sees is rarely the full picture. Early warnings, debates, and mistakes are often carefully removed from public records. Certain events are framed to protect reputations. Others are delayed to avoid panic. Why do some stories survive while others vanish? Sometimes the decision is deliberate. Other times, it is a result of fear, pride, or political convenience. Either way, the truth remains hidden until someone decides to reveal it. Even today, when historians dig into archives, they discover documents contradicting what was taught for decades. This shows that history is not always what it seems. Chapter 2. Secrets behind closed doors. Long before the public knew, experts and insiders had answers. Warnings were issued, reports were written, predictions were made. Instead of sharing these insights, they were classified, documents were sealed, meetings were confidential. In some cases, revealing the truth could have caused social unrest or political damage. Even when safety or morality was at stake, silence often won. The world carried on unaware, believing the polished narrative presented to them. Some insiders struggled with the ethical burden of knowing the truth but remaining silent. Could withholding information ever be justified, or does the public always deserve to know? Chapter 3. The role of media. The media amplifies what is allowed to be seen. When access to information is limited, coverage becomes selective. Certain voices are emphasized while others are dismissed. Uncomfortable questions are rarely asked in public. Stories that contradict authority are minimized. Repeated narratives eventually feel like fact, even if they are incomplete. Have you ever wondered why some stories never make headlines? Why are only certain perspectives reported? The absence of information is just as powerful as misinformation. Over time, media repetition reinforces partial truths, shaping collective memory. Even decades later, people remember what was reported as though it were the full story. Chapter 4. The first cracks appear. No cover-up lasts forever. Time eventually loosens the walls of secrecy. Documents are declassified, witnesses speak. Former officials admit what they once denied. Suddenly, familiar events look very different. Decisions once praised appear questionable. Actions described as heroic reveal hidden consequences. The public begins to question everything they thought they knew. Truth rarely hits all at once. It emerges slowly, forcing reevaluation and doubt. Sometimes, even small revelations can upend decades of accepted knowledge. How does the world react when what it believed turns out to be incomplete or misleading? Chapter 5. The human cost. The impact of delayed truth is more than just knowledge. Lives are affected. Communities are exposed to harm. Choices that could have been made earlier are lost. When information is withheld, people are powerless. They cannot prepare. They cannot protect themselves. And by the time the truth emerges, the damage is already done. Why does hiding the truth often feel safer than sharing it? The cost of silence is always higher than most realize. Families, organizations, and even entire nations have faced consequences that might have been avoided. The human cost of delayed transparency is often invisible at first, but undeniable over time. Chapter 6. Those who risked everything. Some refused to stay silent. Whistleblowers, journalists, and insiders released evidence. They exposed contradictions and inconsistencies. Instead of praise, many faced backlash. Careers ended. Reputations were attacked. Legal threats followed. Yet without these brave individuals, the world would never have known what was hidden. They remind us that revealing the truth often requires courage and sacrifice. Some risked imprisonment, others risked personal safety, all to bring hidden facts to light. Would you have the courage to speak out if it meant everything you knew could change? Chapter 7. How history is taught. Education plays a role in shaping understanding. Textbooks simplify complex events, uncomfortable details are softened, certain perspectives are excluded. Students grow up believing history was inevitable rather than constructed. Without alternative views, curiosity fades. Omissions become accepted as fact. Even well-intentioned teaching can reinforce partial narratives, and generations continue to inherit the version of history someone else chose for them. What stories were left out of your textbooks? What perspectives have been quietly erased? Chapter 8: Secrets in the Modern Age. Today, secrecy looks different. Information spreads faster than ever, but so does distraction. Instead of hiding everything, cover-ups rely on noise. Flood the world with stories, and the truth becomes difficult to see. Conflicting narratives compete for attention. Clarity is drowned out by volume. Even in the digital era, the same pattern repeats. Some truths are delayed, some are reframed, and some remain hidden until the right moment. The methods have changed, but the goal remains the same: control of perception. Chapter 9: Why it Matters. This is not about distrusting everything. It is about questioning responsibly. It is about examining sources and seeking evidence. History teaches one thing clearly: truth eventually surfaces. The problem is how long it takes and how much harm occurs before it does. Cover-ups shape policies, beliefs, and identities. They decide who is remembered and who is forgotten. They influence how nations see themselves and their past. Recognizing this pattern helps prevent the same mistakes from repeating. It reminds us to value transparency, accountability, and a spirit of curiosity, because understanding what was hidden is as important as understanding what was revealed. History's biggest cover-ups are not just about secrets. It's about tying the gap between what happened and what we were told. Truth rarely disappears forever. It waits. And when it returns, it changes everything we thought we knew.